Hey everybody, welcome to the special edition interview that me and Nico conducted about back in October 25th. This interview was set up by Nico when he ran into Mikey Gordon. He's known as in the independent scenes here in San Diego as Dirty Ron McDonald. Yeah, it sounds like one of Ronald McDonald's crack cousins or something. So anyway, this interview wasn't something I thought of. Nico brought it up and I was up with the idea. I really wanted to try this because I have seen Ron McDonald before, Dirty Ron. It was back in 2017 at the Sequam where he was booked for a tag team match with Famous B at the Rey Mysterio Lucha Wonderland. It was a good match, seeing that. He faced against Mascarita Dorada and, of course, who was it? Willie Mack. It was a great match. Of course, Phase B had a Samantha Saint. If you guys know who she is, she's from the adult industry, so that kind of thing. But this interview, it's the full interview. The episode that I edited some pieces in and out because it was way too long. So this video I'm actually releasing, it's the full version of it, of me, Nico, Ron talking. Nico has a podcast, a different one. I'll try to set up the link to that podcast so you guys can hear it. It's very audio and hope you guys enjoy it. So here's the full video of us interviewing Dirty Ron McDonald, or should know as Mikey Gordon.
Mic check, 1, 1, 2. Yup, we're doing it. Alright. Alright.
Do you want me to check this mic? Does this mic work too?
Yeah. Give it a little mic check.
Mic check. I kind of get loud and fucking Is that too loud?
No, that's perfect. I love it. Alright, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of The Horse You Rode In On. This is a very special episode. We might be talking about food, maybe or not, but we're actually going to be talking a little bit about wrestling. I got two guests for you. One is a host of one of our other shows, which is the Deleted Wrestle Zone. You can check that out on YouTube. And our special guest today is the legendary Dirty Ron. He's the promoter of Combat Fists.
Fist Combat.
Fist Combat. My bad. I suck. Professional journalism at its best.
I should have worn my logo shirt. It would have been way easier. Yeah. I didn't know till the last minute this was going to be a video thing. And I got me a nice shiner right here, so hiding out, looking like one of those assholes that hangs out in the VIP section of a nightclub. Like, oh, look at me, it's nighttime. Yeah. We're inside. I'm wearing my sunglasses.
I feel you.
It's good. Did I get the mic in the right spot?
Right. I just caught your last match at Pure Platinum, was it?
Yeah. I'm still scarred. And I wrapped the ring in barbed wire and wrestled a guy I've been wrestling for a long time.
That's right.
Randy Order. It was a good old time, man. I don't mind getting a little bloody. I would pull the thumbtacks out. Got my girlfriend involved in the match, and at the end of it, we ended up wrapping him up on the table in barbed wire, and then I dove off the balcony and gave him a big old elbow drop through it. That's what got me this nice scar. It's probably gonna be a permanent one right there. I didn't really know exactly where that happened from. I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, I got a big old scar on my elbow." He was like, "Oh, it's probably from the elbow drop." Good idea. That's probably where that was from.
There you go.
I don't mind doing them hardcore matches though. I kind of dig it. I've always kind of looked at what everybody else does and just do something different. Because you watch a lot of wrestling these days, and it's a lot of nameless, faceless stuntmen. I mean, you look at the same in UFC. Look at basically the same in boxing. I mean, look at these characters that are on TV. There's a lot of nameless, faceless, watered down characters. I mean, when we all started liking wrestling, look at what made wrestling good. You had these guys that were going out there hungry. They were unscripted. They went out there and they had to take their spot and make it. The Rock, Stone Cold. I mean, look at everybody down the line. Al Snow, Bob Holly. Like, from the top all the way to the bottom. Those guys, you felt it. You felt it with them, you know? Like, you felt something real. And that's what I'm all about. You know, I'm all about making people feel like what they're at is real. I mean, we all watch movies. We all sit back and watch $600 million movies, you know, at home on Netflix for $8.99. But what I'm all about, not just with my comedy and my wrestling, but the live show experience. You know, people say that ratings are down. You know, that live show attendance is down. Yeah, because there's so many other different things that you can watch. There's so many other different avenues. I can sit here, I got Hulu for $6.99 a month or whatever the fuck. You know, I can say fuck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I can watch it for $6.99, whatever the fuck. I can watch every show of The Office. I'm in the middle of binge watching Brickleberry while I'm doing shit on my computer. Why? And I don't. That's how much money do they spend on those things? Where I'm trying to put on a live show. So like, what we put on, the idea with what I do, not just with wrestling but also with comedy, is to put on something different that you can fucking feel. That you can feel. You go to a live fist combat show, it's not like any other independent wrestling promotion out there. I don't focus on these guys that can do a cool move. Why? Because they're waiting for the next cool move. Whereas you find somebody that can connect with somebody, somebody can feel, a real person going out there and telling you who they are and what they're fighting for, right? Whether it's Dirty Ron McDonald going out there and throwing fake cocaine into somebody's face and making burger puns the whole time, or whether it's Randy Orton, who you feel like really believes that he's a strong arm of the law, you know, or you got guys like Danny Limelight who are going out there and fighting for every inch that he can get inside of that ring. These guys are they're giving you everything, and they're characters that you can connect with. You know?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But what I noticed about your last match was that it was beautifully timed. The high spot was the finisher, and I really, really appreciated that. Like how it was just like it was really timing, really smooth. Who was the guy that came out of nowhere with the devil horns?
So Randy Orton has went through Randy Orton started as a tag team with Chip Law and Order, okay? Which is actually my girlfriend's idea. Her and I, we spitball a lot of ideas. We're both comedians. We've known each other 5.5 years. You know, I'm gonna marry this girl. Anyway.
There you go.
She's great. So, you know, seeing the progression of Chip Law, he left. He moved out of town. So Randy Orton was left now, and so we've been trying to put him and have him manage some people, and now he's managing these two guys, the Barrio Boys, who are two guys who speak Spanish, and he's like, hey, I kept you guys out of jail. I'm the long arm of the law. You do my bidding for me.
Yeah.
One of those guys had to go to another show, so there was only one of those guys left.
Yeah, because it was funny. Like I kind of popped for that because like I was like I was just watching the match and I was like, damn, dude, this fool's fucking him up. And then this dude comes out of nowhere. I was like, hey, who the fuck is this guy fucking everything up? Like,
well, you know that's. I've been a wrestler for 18 years now. This is my 19th year, I guess.
Nice.
Not like full time for 19 years. You know, I had my first match in September 2001. Actually, we're from the same time the Twin Towers went down. Anyway, that's the first time I realized that. Right. Oh wait, why did I say that? But yeah, man, I've been wrestling a long time. My mom was a pro wrestler for a few years back in the day, some low-level independent shit.
Okay.
And look, wrestling's just in my blood, you know, like it's something that I love. And I think more, like I love wrestling.
Nice.
I love connecting with the fans. I love connecting with people. I love connecting with the audience. I love making the audience that I want to perform to and then performing to them. Because that's what we did with Fist Combat. We had an idea all along. 21 and up, non-traditional wrestling fans, people that are like, hey, for 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, I'll come out, pay a ticket, go watch this wild ass shit going on at the bar. Like, what else can you be doing downtown? Where else? What other form of entertainment is there in this world? You tell me that you are encouraged to yell, get drunk, and yell at the entertainers, and they're supposed to yell back at you.
Exactly.
You can't do that at a comedy show. You can't do that at a movie theater. You can't do that at church. You know what I'm saying? None of those places can you yell at the entertainer Yeah, that was a slight dig at the at religion there. But nowhere else can you yell at the entertainer and have them yell back at you, and it's highly encouraged. You can't do that shit. And wrestlers do that. We're giving you a live action drama, comedy, stunt show, all that shit mixed up into one take with the audience 360 degrees around us, all while we're in our fancy underwear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where else can you fucking see that shit? Nowhere else besides professional wrestling. We're all larger than life. Every comedian I've ever met wants to be a pro wrestler. Every rock star I've ever met wants to be a comedian. And fucking everybody wants to be a goddamn pro wrestler. That's a true story. And to be able to live a little part of that dream every day is the fucking coolest thing ever. But putting on the shows and putting the story together for people to enjoy, that's what I get the most enjoyment out of. Because not only do I put on a show for somebody that might come one time, right? Only see one show ever. You see a story, but to put on a show for people that come all the time, hey, I want to put on a story for you guys so you can see a long-term story, But also at the same time, we're recording it so we can put out content so people that not are in San Diego can see it and go, oh, I kind of get what the fuck's going on here, even though I'm not there.
That's right. See, that was always my problem with like UFC and shit. It was like people always ask me like, "Why do you watch professional wrestling?" I was like, "Look, say you buy a UFC pay-per-view, the main event, Cain Velasquez, Brock Lesnar. That shit lasted for a minute and a half. You paid $56 to watch someone get knocked out super quick. Like, nah, I want to be entertained. I want to see them dance around the fucking ring."
Right, dude. That first UFC on Fox. 8 years ago, whatever. It was Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. The match was over in a minute and 10 seconds. It's like, this was your big debut on a fucking network television station, on Fox, on Big Daddy Fox, and you guys put on this match that lasted a minute and 10 seconds. Excuse me. When was it? When the fucking Cubs won the World Series finally against Cleveland. Like the drama. Oh my God, the drama. I don't know if you guys remember the World Series back in 2004 when the Red Sox were down 3-0 and fighting the Yankees, right? The big rival. Here they come. Bam, 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 bam. 4 games in a row. Never been done in major sports history. And then they come, they whoop the Cardinals' ass in 4 games in a row. The only reason I know that is because I'm a huge St. Louis Cardinals fan.
There we go.
But that drama happened then, right? That kind of drama happens every fucking Monday night. On every pay-per-view, and definitely at every WrestleMania, all the stories get complete.
Yep.
And where else can you get that except for professional wrestling?
Pretty much.
Yeah, we all know that fucking X-Men ain't real. I hate using the word fake. When somebody's trying to have a real conversation with me, I'll say something like predetermined, choreographed. Like
it's all kayfabe.
Right. Exactly. But. To say what I do is fake is like I can show you on my body that it's not.
Right. You got anything to add, J-Rock?
Well, I've always been a fan of wrestling growing up,
Oh, yeah.
Starting from the old school, like Hulk Hogan, a Macho Man, all that other stuff, and also watching...
Change my glasses.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Also been watching, like, a lot of the,
What you got for me there, J-Rod? Let me hear ya!
All right. Watching also like some of the older CML wrestling shows, And first time I started watching Fist Combat, I'm like, wow, it's completely different from what I'm looking at now. I don't know if you've been following AEW recently.
You almost have to.
Yeah. Basically, what I've seen now is like there are completely some promotions are going to different location, different direction where they want to go.
Right.
Did you felt the same way with Fist Combat, like saying I want to go this way instead?
100%. That's always the way I felt being an entertainer. Being a wrestler, in music, in comedy, and now when I promote live shows, it's giving you something different because it's gonna stand out. To give some, if you see a bunch of the same stuff, like for instance, I went to a few PWG shows, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows. A friend of Matt Seidel's. I've known Matt since we were fucking kids wrestling each other's backyards.
Oh man.
And you know, to go to those shows and to watch 3 times they're doing like belly to bellies off, you know, off the top rope, and they're kicking out 2 of them, and this is just the second match on the show. Like, God damn, these motherfuckers are gonna kill themselves, you know. Like, I was all when I first got the biz, all the old guys were like, you guys need to do less, make it mean more, do less, make it mean more. And I never really got it until I got older, and I realized doing less and making it mean more is better for everybody. You know, it's like, look at any fucking UFC fight in the history of UFC. Why do people pay the most to see Conor McGregor? Well, because he does the most outside of the fight. The fight is only the fight, you know? It's all what you do to get to the fight, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how you have to be different. You know, like I see a lot of independent wrestlers these days, and nobody, like, 98% of them can't cut a fucking promo to save their lives. They can't talk you into the building. And I'm gonna get shit for this, but it's the fucking truth. You watch anybody back in the day, they could all talk you into the fucking building. On any given second, Ric Flair could cut a 5-minute promo on you just on what the hell you're wearing. Why? Because that's what it was all about. It was all about talking you into the building. Right. Now they all got to do these fucking moves to kill themselves, and everybody's just like, oh, cool, that's cool. When's the next cool fucking move?
Brian Pillman was the one who drew me in. When I was a kid, I already knew that it was like staged and all that stuff, but the one moment that I actually like thought it was real was when Brian Pillman pulled out the gun.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, I do. It's that realism. It's that shit that, okay, we all want to get lost in a movie, you know, like those Taken movies with Liam Neeson or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, I really feel this shit, you know, because they did a good job of pulling you in and making you feel like you were part of it. I don't know about you guys. I really like the Saw franchise. And like the first ones when they came out, and I saw that in the theater. Like I was just really drawn in. I'm like, you know, like what I'm saying. Like they really draw you in, and that's that's how the best guys do it. Is they really draw you in, you know, and that's what I try to do with myself. That's what I try to do as a promoter, as a storyteller, and as an entertainer. You know, you have to make people give a fuck.
Right.
You know, I had to lie for years. Be like, I'm so much cooler than anybody thinks I am. You know what I'm saying? I had to lie to myself. I had to lie to my friends and my family and anybody that I wanted to come see me do whatever the fuck I'm doing. You know?
Sell that
and
shit.
I had to do that. And now it's finally catching up to me. Now for 5.5 years, I've been on stage 6 to 10 times a week doing stand-up comedy. You know? I've been wrestling, and I've been making more off of wrestling in the last 4 years than I had in the previous 10 plus easily. You know? And like it's putting in the work and believing in yourself, and when you get your dick knocked in the dirt, getting back up and having a fucking plan to get your dick out of the dirt. You know, like nobody wants a dirty dick. Go wash that dick off and get back out there and start fucking. You know, I don't know.
Preach.
You know, it's like so many. Like I don't know. I'm pretty aggressive in the way that I am in life, but. And booking myself too, you know, like I'm always reaching out to people. Hey, can I come out here? Can I come out there? You know, like back in the day, man, we had to send VHS tapes to promoters, and we had to be able to contact them first, which means you had to find their home phone number, call them, be like, yo, Joe Schmo promoter in Indiana, is it okay if I send you my VHS tape? And then like, yeah, sure, and then they send it to you and they never watch it, never call you back, you know. But like, it was taboo to even send somebody a tape back in the day without them knowing that you were a friend of a friend, or they were knowing that you were sending that fucking tape to them. Right. You know, that was taboo. But now, with the way that everybody's so accessible on social media and all that shit, like, dude, get out there and give people your information, you know? Like, I don't know. That's just the way to get booked. It's the way to get booked. That's the way to get out there, and you have to get out there. You got to be on there. You got to be on stage all the time. You got to be out there wrestling all the time. You got to be out there doing shit.
What all cities did you have you ran promotions at?
Well, Fist Combat started in January 2007 in right outside St. Louis, Missouri, where I'm originally from.
Okay.
I ran about 60 shows or so from 2007 to 2013. I moved out West Coast. I ran it in Santa Cruz from 2015 to the beginning of 2017. and I moved down here beginning of 2017, and we've been fucking rocking ass ever since.
All under the same name?
Yeah, Fist Combat.
Okay.
Well, for the first year it was Fist Wrestling, but then I was like, you know what, wrestling kind of got a bad connotation with it. This was 2007, so I was like, let's call it Fist Combat. Now, Fist is an acronym for Finest Independent Stars Today. So we try to pull in people from all over the place. Hey, you know, like we'll have a Joey Janelle on a show. Well, not anymore. You know, Peter Avalon was our champion all summer long. You know, like a lot of the guys that we have now are like some of the best and brightest up and comers. Like these are guys that are going to have contracts within the next 2 years. You know, and we're able to have these guys on our shows now. You know, but like where I'm looking at is I'm not even looking at those guys because I've got to put on 2 to 3 live shows every month. So I'm looking at who's going to be next, who's going to be hot in 9 to 12 months. So, you know, for the last 3-4 months, I've had my eye on the next crop of guys that, all right, we're going to push these guys kind of like they're connecting with the fans. You know, they know how to interact with people. They know how to sell. They know how to get fucking asses in the door by selling it, however, you know.
That's right.
By getting loud, by fucking interacting with people, by talking, by connecting. That's what we're here to do. You know, so many comics and so many wrestlers, they get into this shit to suck their own dick. Okay? They do this, they're like, oh, look how cool my gift was. Okay? Well, that's not what being an entertainer is about at all. Being an entertainer is about entertaining the audience that's there in front of you, that paid with money or with their time or both to come see you, to come see a show. So get out of your own fucking ego, get your own dick out of your mouth, and entertain the people that are there. You know, I gotta wrestle different at my 21 and up shows than I do wrestling at some festival with kids at it. Right. And I gotta know that as an entertainer. If I'm doing a bar show where people are eating dinner, doing comedy, and I'm going out there about fucking eating some pussy or some shit, you can't do that at a dinner show. You know, you can't do that shit. I run, starting here in the next couple weeks, every Saturday from 11:30 p.m. to 1:30 in the morning, I'm going to be running the 11:30 Dirty on the main stage of the Madhouse Comedy Club. That's a show where it's going to be, oh shit. That's a show where it's going to be fucking disgusting. Disgusting, filthy, gross, you know, grotesque comedy. But, you know, like, you got to know who your audience is. And you got to give them a show. Crowd. You got to get out of your own ego, you know?
Huh.
That's why I don't do clean comedy shows.
Right.
They're like, hey, can you do 15 minutes clean? I'm like, yeah, I guess. You know? I'm telling you everything you need to know, which is, yeah, I'll do it. Does it pay well? Because I don't fucking, this is a job to me. If I gotta go out and do 15 minutes of clean comedy, that's a job. I didn't do this shit to have a job. I did all this shit to not have a job, you know?
How long have you been doing your comedy for?
I got on stage for the first time in July 2010. Since July 2014, I've been on stage 6 to 10 times every week.
That's crazy.
So I say that I've been doing comedy about 5.5 years. And I just put out my first stand-up comedy
consistently, like with no breaks.
I mean, like if there was a break of me doing 6 to 10 times a week, I did 4 because I was on the road doing shows, and I did 1 show each day for 4 days. So, yeah. But like at least 6 to 10 times every week for 5.5 years.
Yeah, you're a fucking machine.
I mean, you know, and if I'm not doing comedy, I'm training to wrestle.
It's crazy. Over here bitching about flippy fucking burgers and shit.
Well, see, that's a job though, and I'm not trying to cut on that, but like, I couldn't do that shit.
Right.
Somebody looks at me and they go, "You can go out and do that." That means I can get drunk and fucking hang out and get cheap ass drinks, and tell dick jokes for 10 minutes at a time, you know, a few times a night. You know, like that's not hard. You know what's hard is going and doing a job and fucking having to listen to some asshole tell you what to do. That shit's tough. Yeah. Like, I got these tattoos. I'm 36 years old. I got these tattoos when I was 27 years old to signify to me is the motivation and dedication. And more than anything, what they signified to me was I'm not getting a real job, you know, because when I first started getting jobs, if you had arm tattoos, like, you couldn't get a real job, you know, a real job. You couldn't go to college and get a real job. You'd be frowned upon. So at the time I was 27, I stopped and I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not living like this anymore. I'm not going to be stressed out, so I got no time to do whatever the fuck I want to do, and I got to listen to some asshole and have them hold my future in their hands, hold my balls in their hands.
Right.
You know? And that was the day that I was like, you know what? Fuck. There was a couple times in my life where I put my fucking foot down and said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm doing this shit my way. Fuck this shit. I believe in myself. Fuck this shit. And the day I got these tattoos, that's what that was for. It was fuck this shit. I'm not doing a real job anymore. I'm believing in myself and this entertainer stuff. And for almost 10 years now, I haven't had a real job. You know, I've been hustling. You guys are at my fucking house that I share with my girlfriend. It's a goddamn block from the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say, hey, fucking believe in yourself and you can get what you want in life. There were 2 goals that I had getting into entertainment, and I've achieved them both. Number 1 was making enough money so I never have to fucking drive. And I do that. I'm not rich, you know, I got a couple bucks in the bank. I'm not rich, but I don't have to fucking drive anymore. I Uber, fly, fucking Greyhound, train, wherever I need to go. It's beautiful because I'm in San Diego. Also, my next goal, live a block from the beach. And here the fuck I am. So 36 years old, I'm done. You know, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm hustling harder than ever. I got a script that we just put together that's going to be filmed here in December, you know, with Debo, the guy from Friday. He's in it. You know, it's the backstory of the backstory of Dirty Ron McDonald. You know, so like we've got a bunch of shit cooking. You know, I produce the Get Fisted TV every week. You know, we're fucking, I don't know. I'm out here hustling, but you got to not know that you're gonna get your dick knocked in the dirt and just be able to jump out of that shit.
I definitely feel that.
Yep.
I think I relit this blunt like 5 times.
I lost count.
It's gotta be 5, 6, or 7. The video won't lie though.
I probably should have edited this saying 1, 2.
The counter?
Ding.
Had a little counter and shit?
Yeah, somewhere around there. That'll be fun.
So did anyone catch the Joker movie?
Loved it.
Yes.
Loved it.
You know,
Loved it.
I heard from various people saying there were some people that left during the film when it was coming out. And there are people, they don't understand this about the Joker. And I just told this yesterday at my church with the guy who plays the lead guitar. You know, people think, oh, there's a specific Joker, you know what I mean, that people like. I'm like, saying, no. You look at guys like Cesar Romero from the 1960s, you know?
The guy that originally played in the TV show?
Yeah, him. If you look at him, he was completely, had his own way. Then you got Jack Nicholson. You got Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
But Mark Hamill did say something that was true, that I agree with him. There is no specific way how the Joker should be played.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody has their own way. And right now I'm hearing this. I don't know if you heard this. Jared Leto is getting pissed off that many people are forgetting about him. I was like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
I have no idea why I just put it
because
out.
here's the thing. I look at the Jared Leto's Joker version, like, this is not the Joker that I knew of, you know, growing up. You know?
Here's the beauty of all of that is, you know how I said earlier, it's not about you, the entertainer, it's about the audience?
Yes.
That's the truth. Yeah, you ever talk to any artsy-fartsy art people?
Fuck no.
Okay, well, like, here, when they go to an art gallery, they look at some piece on the wall, and they all have a different interpretation of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of art. We talked a little bit about AEW before we started recording here. I don't know, maybe we were recording.
Yeah.
And you know, you're like, you keep up on AEW. And that's the beauty, is that wrestling, just like the Joker, wrestling is now not wrestling, it's music. What I mean by that is WWE is classic rock and roll. AEW is mumble rap. You know, like, that's me dissing it a little bit. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking Impact is fucking, I don't know, punk rock. You know, fucking the NWA just came back. Well, those are the oldies. You know, like Fist Combat is fucking heavy metal. Wrestling is now, it's not just wrestling. You can pick and choose what you like. And that's the beauty of it, too.
Did you fans like metalcore?
Exactly. You can come up with a million, but wrestling isn't wrestling anymore. Wrestling is whatever you want it to be. There's so much of it out there that you can have a choice. It can be literally whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Now, I totally get the AEW's mumble rap because that's what's hot.
Right. That's what's hot, and I think it's a fad, and it's not going to last. But
it's not.
I love the idea behind it. I love the passion of the vocal minority that's behind that.
Right.
But here's the thing. When you're the cool underground whipped dog, like they've been, and they made themselves shine without anybody,
Yeah.
then you're the fucking hot indie product. But once you fucking sell out, start taking that big dog money, well, you're not the underdog anymore.
That makes sense.
That's what got them to the dance, was the underdog.
That's probably why I never really liked faces. Like, I've always been a heel guy. Like,
Because they're the underdog.
Like, as soon as someone turns face, I'm like,
And that's your choice to do that. But that's what the beauty of what got it. Hey, all the power in the world to them. All the power in the world to them. But it's like I fought on Monday Night Raw one time against Braun Strowman.
I saw that video.
I'm 195 pounds legit, pretty fucking strong. That dude is fucking 18 feet tall and weighs 3,000 pounds. Alright? That's AEW against WWE. It's not AEW against NXT. It's AEW against WWE. You are talking about a fucking juggernaut. Against a fucking... It's like, yeah, it's David and Goliath, and every other time except that one time, David got his fucking ass kicked. You know? Hey, how good they're out there doing it, you know? Hell yeah. I'm all about the underdog. But they're not the underdog anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's still those like the hardcore WWE fans are like saying all this about WWE, like saying that they're better. Like, that's your opinion. But what I'm looking at
that's what's great though. That's what's great. See, everybody thinks that we're arguing apples and apples. My argument is we're not arguing apples and apples. AEW is oranges. WWE is apples. Fist Combat are pears. You know, the NWA is watermelons. You know, we're not comparing apples to apples, and that's what wrestling fans need to understand. That's the beauty of it. That's what's great. We're not just wrestling fans. We're all our own type of wrestling fans. You know, like I like horror movies. I don't like fucking love romantic stories. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but do I like movies?
I don't like com-roms.
Right. Do I like movies though? Fuck yeah, I like movies. But just because I don't like a certain type of movie doesn't mean that I fucking hate movies. I love movies. I just don't like that type of movie. That's not my type. You know? I don't know.
It's that shit I don't like.
It's that shit I don't like. But yeah, you know, like that's the beauty of wrestling. That's the beauty of art. It's all up to the the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, and that's how it is with rap. Or that's how it is with wrestling. That's how it is with fucking music. You know, it's all. What do you like? You know,
everything is entirely subjective. Like,
everything is.
Like,
and it's okay to have an opinion.
Yeah, pretty much. And I said the same thing with food. Like, it's like with food, it's like what do you like, dog? I could make anything that you probably like want me to make, but you gotta like tell me exactly what it is that you like. Like, cause like you know, if you tell me what it is, then I can't produce the product that you're looking for.
Right? You know.
Like,
but it's all up to the audience, right? You know, like some guy that's gonna eat some of your food.
Yeah.
If he just goes to you and go, well, you know, just give me whatever. I mean, you know, like you can't fucking give him what he wants. But if you kind of got to know what he wants. But then it's all in wrestling and comedy and stuff like that. That's all up to me to decide, you know. And if I fuck that, they can't order off a menu. They can't go. Let me get 2 dick jokes, a family disturbance joke, a part molestation joke, and a couple pussy mentions in there, and double it up. You know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they can't do that to me. They don't give me a menu. So, you know, it's up to me to kind of fucking guess. And trust me, I have been wrong. I have been wrong many, many times. Wrestling is a little bit easier because I kind of know what to expect. You know, I hate wrestling for wrestling fans. I fucking hate wrestling fans. I hate, you know what I'm saying by those wrestling fans that just complain about everything.
yeah.
It's not even like they like this. They just talk about what they don't like. Well, fucking tell me what you do like. Let's talk about that. You can focus on one or the other, you know?
There was a few of those at the Cracker Barrel when I went to go visit the Young Bucks over there. And like most of the fans are pretty cool, but like for some reason like I got this table next to like these because like I actually ate there. The Cracker Barrel's fire.
Oh dude. I know I'm from the Midwest, brother. I know all about that Cracker Barrel.
That's all new.
I mean,
the
first name of that shit is basically me, you know.
And like there was a couple of like wrestling fans, they were just like talking about like they were totally talking about like the whole the Battle of Los Angeles, and they're all like, oh, they didn't do this right, and this was this, and then and like I was just like, damn, dude, like shut up, like.
Do you want to know when I ask people? Like, I love hearing even wrestlers or wrestling fans talk about running their own promotion. Because, like, dude, it's like a fucking iceberg. Okay. Yeah. Running a wrestling promotion, like most people think, all right, as a promoter, all you gotta do is book the matches, make a wrestling poster, and then keep all the money. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? That's like the tip of the iceberg. You know what most of the iceberg is? Yeah. Me dealing with wrestlers and their egos and their fucking personal drama, and I can't wrestle this guy, or I can't be around this guy, or you know, or you should make me the champion, or I can do this, no, I can't do this, no, like whatever the fuck, and like being able to put on a story.
Like, they go to people like, hey, you should make me the champion.
Dog.
I feel like a committee figures that out.
Dog. A committee. Here's your committee right here, one and only. Like me and my girlfriend basically write all the shit. You know, like we come up with the stories, you know, and we put on 2 to 3 live shows a month, and we put on, you know, a weekly episodic thing that gets you caught up with all the little fucking stories we got going on. So, you know, like we're out there, we're doing shit, you know, but man, coming up with these stories are like, oh, I do want to wrestle this guy, or, oh, you know, like, and here's the thing, nobody's getting rich off this thing. I mean, like, I make a decent amount of money if I do well at the show, but if I lose money on the show, none of the wrestlers are taking less money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, the risk on running all these shows, and like, sometimes it's just, I sit back and wonder, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? You know? For so long, we just lost money on every show. Every show, but I always believed, I'm like, one day, we'll fucking turn a corner. It was about a year ago where we're at right now. From then till now, I ran about 34 live shows, and only one of them lost money, which is a fucking, whoa, it's a huge streak, you know, to be able to do that as an independent wrestling promoter, because, dude, it's hard because you got to keep it fun and interesting, yeah, for people to come out and want to come out all the time, you know, like, I don't get to the point of, like, begging people to come to my show, but I do give out a lot of free tickets, you know, to people that wouldn't come to the show. And it's like, hey man, you want to come see something cool on a Wednesday, Thursday, or probably Friday at a strip club? Come check out this live pro wrestling that's put on for people that don't like pro wrestling. You know? I want people to come to a bar show, because like, where else can you buy a beer and fucking yell at a motherfucker in their underwear, and they're going to yell back at you, tell you they're going to fuck your mom in the ass or some shit. You know? Fist Combat. On all the posters, till about a year ago, we wrote Get Drunk and Heckle. And then Bud Light started printing our posters, and they go, take out the Get Drunk. And I was like, alright. Get loud and heckle. But that's what it's all about, you know. Pro wrestling, the best form of entertainment in the world. You know, I auditioned for stunt shit or fucking little acting work here and there. I feel like the skills I got learning from pro wrestling are far better than these actors that got to take more than one take into one angle in the camera. Yeah. You know, they need to get their face right and everything. Man, pro wrestling's where it's at, dude.
Can I ask you this? Since you run Fist Combat, like,
yeah.
Do you ever, how to say, when you see how good the show has turned out to be, you know, at the end of the night, do you ever wonder, how can we top it the next time? You ever go through
that's that? A constant struggle. It's a constant struggle. It's a constant struggle. So, the show that we lost money on, okay, we put on the 4 most incredible shows I've ever put on a streak this summer, and it was so hot. First show of the fucking one with Peter Avalon went over for the title. Fuck, the show was fucking amazing. The place was jam-packed. We moved from La Mesa, Joltin' Joe's to downtown.
I remember that.
Bam! Fucking packed. Crowd was so, there was the most money that we've ever sold in tickets. That was the hottest crowd, and it was the biggest crowd we've ever had. Next show, Comic-Con show. We broke all those records. Most pre-sales, most people there, longest show we've ever had, hottest crowd we've ever had. The show after that, Fist versus versus Game Changer Wrestling with Joey Janela and Nick Gage, so I fought Nick Gage in a Fans Bring the Weapons match. Most money we've ever sold in there, most people there, hottest crowd we've ever had. And then the show after that, SummerSlam, was 2 weeks after that. SummerSlam, that's Joey Ryan was on the show. Peter Avalon, it was Joey Ryan versus Peter Avalon. It was fucking me bringing the hair versus hair match. A big long feud I've been going in all year. Hottest crowd, most money we've ever sold, most people we've ever had there. All summer. 2 weeks later, we do a show with no names on it. 3 days after Labor Day. compared to those 4 shows, it was fucking, you know, I don't want to say it was a garbage show because it was a great show. Like, nobody showed up. We just hit them too hard. Hit them too hard, too quick, you know? And we lost that. So, you know, like, I looked at and it was the first night of NFL. So I looked at all these things and I was like, fuck. Like, this is the first time I've lost money on a show in a year. You know? I got that feeling and I was just like, fuck. Like, this sucks. But then I looked at all those factors. I was 3 days after Labor Day. We got no, like, big names on the show.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't have a match announced for myself. You know, which I know that I draw some people to my own show. You know, I'm not going to lie. You know, there was just... It was a missable show because 2 weeks after that was our first show at the strip club that I had already sold $1,500 in tickets to. So, like, I get it. You know, but, like, putting on something hot enough... Like, we just put on the strip club show last week. Next Wednesday, the night before Halloween, we got a show. 8 days later, I got a big show with Nick Gage and all these motherfuckers, and then 2 weeks after that, we're back at the strip club. So, like, that's fucking 4 shows. Plus, I'm doing Kush Stock in between that, and I just did a festival show down in Mexico last Saturday. Just like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows, 7 shows within a month. You know, it's and keeping that exciting for people to come to is kind of difficult. It does, you know, it does kind of get to me, but it's the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Of course.
You know, because I'm living a dream, dude. You know, like the coolest thing that ever happened to me was the night that I worked Monday Night Raw, and Vince McMahon came up to me after the match, shook my hand, and told me I did a great job. Now, I'm not really close with my dad, but that right there was the coolest fucking thing I've ever had happen to me in my life. Until 20 minutes later when I got to meet Paul Heyman, who's my true idol in professional wrestling. Because the guy took basically nothing, went against the grain, presented wrestling in a way that he thought was the shit, and got people to dig it, you know?
Of course.
Because he realized that what was missing in professional wrestling. And at that time, what was missing was realism, was people you wanted to believe in, was somebody that you went there and you go, I don't know if that person was for real or not, you know? I say in my every show I do on 21 Up, I came here to do 3 things. Number 1, I came here to get fucked up. Number 2, I came here to fuck somebody up. Number 3, I'm gonna fuck everybody's girlfriends afterwards.
Dude, for me,
I want people to look at my face and go, I don't know if that dude's really gonna try to fuck my girlfriend after the show. And then they look at their girlfriend and they go, I think my girlfriend's gonna try to fuck this clown after the show. Sorry to cut you off.
no worries.
I had to get that
I think
joke
for
in
me with ECW, like my favorite matches on there were all the Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis.
Dude,
Those were fucking legendary.
I got a shirt commemorating that feud. Fucking, it's one of my favorite shirts. And you know, like when I got to talk to Psychosis a few times. I got him booked on this show coming up here.
What?
Which Psychosis? There's 2 of them.
Oh, no, there's not. There's only one Psychosis.
Because the one I know of is Nicho.
That's his unmasked name now.
Yeah.
He still wrestles under the mask also, Psychosis.
Oh, okay.
And that's who he's wrestling at my show.
Cool.
The 7th best he is on
Yeah,
the show.
I just saw him at the last Baja Stars event.
Oh, yeah.
Early this year. He was in a 6-man tag with Super Crazy and this other guy. I did not know who he is, but until I found out that...
Danny Limelight?
No, it's Crazy Frank. I don't know if you heard
Crazy Frank.
I did not...
Best name.
Here's the thing. I did not know that...
Crazy Frank was crazy? You thought he was just regular?
He's more like a hardcore wrestler. He's
Crazy
extreme.
Frank? Okay.
He fits like in the same caliber as, you know, Nicho and Super Crazy, you know, the hardcore guys.
Right.
And I find that this is what happened before I got there. Ran into people that I know from church, and they're like,
Church.
I didn't know that you were into wrestling. Like, yeah, and then I asked them, I didn't know either. He's like, oh, the only reason we're here was because they have a family member. Crazy Frank is part of their family.
Oh, no shit.
And they told me that he wrestles hardcore stuff down in Tijuana. And I'm like, whoa.
Get me in touch with this Crazy Frank.
Well, I gotta talk to his family first, see if I can.
Oh, it's like that? He's like fucking super gangster?
Thing is, I don't know much about him because
Nobody does. Nobody knows about
because
Crazy
here's the thing,
Frank.
I just
He's
saw
fucking crazy!
I just saw videos of him, and I think there's a promotion. I don't know if it, how legit it is or what they do. It's called Tijuana Pro Wrestling. They have like stacks of light bulbs. Nico, you saw that video, remember?
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, he had like a stack of light bulbs over there, and he was wrestling some guy, and they're like, he's like saying this, taking off like, "Pégame, cabrón," you know, and they're like whacking each other with light bulbs.
Oh, then we're gonna be doing that on the November 7th.
With the fluorescence.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they were doing that day. I'm like saying, "Dang, I didn't." He's really that extreme, and I didn't even know that about. Like, wow, I never would imagine.
You can't call yourself Crazy Frank if you don't do crazy ass shit.
I'll see if I can try to get a hold of them and see past them on
Crazy Frank, I need to get.
But you should look it up on YouTube. You know,
Crazy Frank.
What is it like wrestling with the fluorescent lights? It's like, how do you keep that shit from getting in your
Scary
eyes?
as fuck.
Like, that shit can get in
Close
your eyes, right?
dude. Fucking, it's nuts. Light tubes are the only thing that I don't allow at Fist Combat, but this show on the 7th, it's like our one night only fucking crazy light tube night, because we got this warehouse, and like, I don't do light tubes, not because I don't want to. There are guys on my shows that want to do that shit. Personally, I don't. Glass gets everywhere.
Yeah,
but we're doing this at a warehouse,
and
we're not scared of like losing somebody's liquor license or some shit like that, because, you know, like, if you're like, when I bleed at a bar, you know, that shit ain't sanitary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we just keep it in a contained area. I don't want glass flying around people. But at this show on the 7th, we're gonna have guardrails around the ring that we traditionally don't do, and then we're gonna allow glass.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever follow. Like, for me, I have been following a lot of the extreme wrestling stuff. You know, like the barbed wires.
Bro,
and all that.
that's my jam.
And
I wrestle for the Clowns, ICP.
Yeah, there's how do I say? I seen how I don't know if you heard of this promotion. It's in Spanish called Desastre Total Ultra Violenta, which means disaster total ultra violent.
What's the letters?
DTU.
Yeah, I know DTU.
Yeah, I'm like seeing things like that. You know what they do. I seen how they are always trying to make sure that none of the glass goes out to the audience. They always try. There was like a small documentary talking about, like, they try to make sure that none of the glass goes outside to the fans. Try to keep it contained. They try to find a way.
Yeah, man, it's difficult. Like, as a promoter, I don't totally understand it, and that's another reason why I don't do that crazy shit. You know, like, we're insured, but we have to pay per event. You know, we got to pay a couple $100 per event. Okay. So, you know, like, it's hard for a wrestling promotion to get insurance. So I can only imagine if some fucking glass gets into somebody's eye or some shit. Like, dude, man. Like, some of these promotions, they have people standing, like, up close to the ring during them fucking matches. It's like, dude, what the fuck? You know, like, what are you trying to do, man?
Kill yourself?
You know, yeah, you don't want to get hurt for real. Like, fuck, dude.
So, do you try to keep this like a minimum of these type of shows, like when you do hardcore stuff?
No, I'm giving people a fucking show. Like,
no, like to do the glasses, broken glass, all that stuff that doesn't get into the audience. You do that like. Oh, that's what I was referring to.
So, like, I'm pretty much known for doing thumbtacks a lot. You know, I've done a few barbed wire matches. You know, like some ladder matches and shit. You know, like I'll pretty much do whatever. But like, there's not a whole lot of guys on my shows that do that. So I'm like that guy that does that on our shows. And currently, I hold the XXX championship, which basically means whatever the fuck we want it to. But it's kind of like a hardcore championship kind of thing. But yeah, what's that? XXX. Well, I'm not swinging my dick around with it. So, I should take one of those X's out of there. I think. I should take one of those. Maybe it's just a double X, because XXX is like hardcore. I don't know.
Hardcore champ.
You're not gonna let people from your church hear this interview, are you?
No, there are people that maybe a small, like 5%, they do, only because they want to show support to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, the viewers.
Yeah, because the thing is this, like, as a fan, they ask me, what is it that you like about it? Like, it's exciting, you know. Like, I like matches that get me off my feet. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If there's like, let's say that I don't know if you ever followed the New Japan stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how
so
there's
quiet.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you know how they have like a 16-minute time limit match, you know, like
right.
for like let's say a title match. Like it starts with the first half hour with it's all silent,
right,
and then we reach the half an hour point. Someone has to win. and you don't know who's gonna win. And I literally had to show one person the match between I think it was Okada versus Omega Part 4 on that one. Try to show them like, okay, this is what happens.
That was a 1 hour, 19 minute,
somewhere around there. And that was like a long match, and people were like, wow, I can't believe how it started out quiet and then it gets exciting, because you don't know who's going to win once we reach past the half an hour mark.
Right.
You know, that's what gets me excited, because you don't know who's going to win. You don't know if it's this guy who's going to retain the championship, or just this guy who's challenging for the title. You don't know that. That's what gets me going.
Did you say it earlier about when the Mexican guy came with the horns, or were you saying that when the guy came and got me from behind?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so the beauty of that story that we told on that match. See, like, even if you had never seen me wrestle Randy Orton, which we have beaten the shit out of each other in every type of match possible, from cage matches to fucking, knockout and submissions only, to barbed wire matches, all that type of shit. We have wrestled each other in everything. Even if you didn't know that, the story of that match was, he's a cop, he came out there with extra padding on, right? So he comes out there, he starts whooping my ass, basically, we're trading back and forth, and then I go into the barbed wire first, and then he throws me in the barbed wire more. I try to reverse it, I take his fucking pads off, Here he goes. He's going, nope, fuck that, I go back into the barbed wire. Finally, I get him and throw him into the barbed wire. Then he tries to throw me into the barbed wire, I dump him over the ring. So now here we are on the outside. Here we go, I fucking set up the chairs, he cuts me off. He goes for a fucking powerbomb on these chairs on the concrete. Finally, 10 minutes into the match, I finally get my first comeuppance. Okay? Boom, now finally here I am. I just powerbomb him through these chairs. Finally I get to beat the shit out of him. No! Other dude comes in, cuts me off, Yeah,
he did that, dude. That's why I was like, what the fuck? This is bullshit.
So then now Randy Orton sees my girlfriend, who happened to be working the door that night, who was also a very new professional wrestler.
She jumped out of the balcony, yeah?
So Orton grabs her by the hair, says, look, this is your man right here, fucking hits her in the gut. Boom! Referee takes her out. Here they go, these guys are beating me up all over the fucking little arena. We get to the other side, she's up on the balcony, she goes, hey motherfuckers, she jumps down, takes them out, right? So now we throw the one guy out, boom, we throw Randy Orton back in the ring. I fucking throw a table in the ring. I finally get back in the ring, Orton cuts me off again. Boom, hits me with the fucking table. Lays me out on the table. Goes up to the top rope to do something. Oh shit, here comes my girlfriend, pulls him off the top rope. So now we put him on the table, wrap the table in him in barbed wire, so he ain't fucking getting up. I go up to that balcony, drop the fucking elbow from the heavens. 1, 2, 3. What a story that we told, Yeah. It's all about the story. And if you watch that match, the place is fucking electric. From the time that Randy Orton comes out to the time that I fucking hit that 1, 2, 3, that place was fucking electric. And you know what? You don't see that at a whole lot of independent wrestling shows, because asshole wrestling fans will sit there and tell you what they didn't like instead of being there and showing you with their bodies what they do like. That's why I put on wrestling, for the crowd that I wanted to create, and that's the beauty of what we do, is that we give people a show that they're going to appreciate.
I seen that as well when I go to the Level Up showcase. Like, there were 2 matches that kind of were the main event, but they stole the night. The first one was Mike Camden versus Hunter Freeman. It became like a no DQ match, but I told everybody I like to call this the balls match, because they're literally punching and kicking each other in the groin. We're like, oh my god, it's funny. Hunter Freeman's girlfriend was like right in the corner, yelling at Mike, saying, "Those are my children." And I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I want to have kids one day. I'm like, oh my. We were all laughing that she was getting into it, even though she's not in the ring. She was like, oh my god, she's really into it. I even told this to Hunter, and I posted this on one of my previous episodes. Hunter had to show this to her, and she just can't believe that I mentioned her. And I told her it was a good story to see those 2 kicking each other in the balls. I'm like, how often do you see that? 2 dudes kicking and punching each other in the balls? Not a lot.
Yeah, it should have been a disqualification.
But it was a no DQ. That was the whole point. And then the second match that got me was Remy Morgan, who's also part of the Level Up. He was facing against Chuck Mercer from Millennial Pro Wrestling. They had like this thing called the Best of 7 series. They were both tied 3-3, and of course the last match was more of a who will win the match, and it turned out to become a last man standing match. You know, so basically it was like, okay, who's gonna go home with the victory on this one?
Yeah.
You had tape, we had chairs, you had kendo sticks everywhere, and it was a great story how there was like this bit of a rivalry between the two, you know. And then in the end, Remy Morgan, who I'm a fan of, won the night, and of course Chuck Mercer gave his approval, saying, "Okay, you got me this time." And that's what I like about it. Like they actually throw in some really good story modes on those two matches. Those like two of my favorite ones to watch. What?
Well, you have to connect with people, you know, and that just shows you right there that, you know, that the thing that you remember is the connection that it made with you, and you have to tell stories. You know, that's what wrestling is made for. That's why wrestling's not UFC. That's why wrestling's not NFL or NBA. But I don't know if you noticed this in the last 15 to 20 years. Professional sports really kind of seem to stretch it out all the way. Super Bowl's coming down in the last 2 minutes every fucking year. The NBA is going to the best 7 in the finals. You know, the World Series usually ends up going to fucking, you know, 6 to 7 games. Why is that? You know, like, why is that? That there's not a whole lot of blowouts in the end of the fucking playoffs anymore. Because they all know, you just got to make a little bit of tweak. You can call a holding play. You can call a holding penalty in every play in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a choice of the referee to call or not, and you can affect so much with one call. You know, and that's the beauty of what pro wrestling has. You know, and with in this day and age where it's all inclusive, you can't make fun of people for being whatever sexual preference they are, or you know, or what religion they are. I mean, not that you could before. It's just like it's very frowned upon now. We as a society don't let that shit happen. And that's the beauty of professional wrestling, is that everybody's starting to get to know, hey man, and more eyes are on this shit. AEW is bringing new fans to like pro wrestling, you know, and WWE really isn't necessarily doing that right now. But they're still the fucking juggernaut. They're still the big, you know, Fist Combat on a much lower level is bringing new fans to professional wrestling. We're not, you know, like I don't know, like you got to always think about bringing new people into what you like. And wrestling is the coolest fucking entertainment out there, you know, and being able to showcase that off, and to be able to showcase, you know, you can come to a Fist Combat show and see a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of punk rock, a little bit of heavy metal, a little bit of country, a little bit of classics, a little bit of oldies, and a little bit of fucking Ozzy Osbourne. You know, come to see a live show. Like, you're going to see all that shit mixed into one, into an ultimate live fan experience. You know, and that's what, in this day and age, that's what you have to do. You have to put on a show that people are going to remember and connect with. You know, that's what life's all about. Yeah. It's taking people out of the shit that they have to do and giving them something to draw them in and forget about the rest of the world. That's why I love pro wrestling. That's why I love doing what I do.
Yeah, me, I use it like a. You see, I'm a musician myself, and that's like my passion, drums.
Oh, of course.
That's like my passion. But when I watch wrestling,
I figured you had rhythm.
And when I watch wrestling, it's more like my escape from, let's say, there's like things that I don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like, it keeps me away from the things that I don't want to do that will get me in trouble.
Well, like drugs and alcohol and hookers and stuff.
No, like the other one, like.
Which other one?
Like steal, that kind of thing.
Oh, you're a klepto?
No, that's kind of like those things that I want to stay away from. You know?
Oh, absolutely.
It's always been like wrestling's always been like the one thing that keeps me away from that.
Well, it's something you can lose yourself in, and with as much content as out there today, and that's another beautiful thing about wrestling, is that if you like a certain type of wrestling, you can get lost in it. There's so much content out there, you can lose yourself in wrestling. There's so much content out there now, I don't even keep up with anything anymore. You know, I can't. There's too much. There's way too much. But if there's something I like or somebody that I like, I can watch them. You know, People always like, who's your team in the NFL? I'm like, I don't know. I kind of always just like certain players, you know.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like I like this guy. I like that guy. I like T.O. because he fucking, you know. I like Floyd Mayweather. Same shit, you know. That's who I like. I like characters. I like people that stand out. I like Chael Sonnen, you know.
I'm all about L.I.J.
Yeah, there you go. People that fucking stand out, man. I was a Macho Man guy.
Of course.
Hulk Hogan was too much cookie cutter. I was also Ultimate Warrior guy. And you know what really surprised me? See, no, really, man. Oh, Nico, I lost a little respect for you right there. Come on, man. Bret Hart was so bland and boring.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that.
Yeah, because he is. Well, should I tell you the truth? No.
There was like, I like Bret Hart. It was like, what? They go, really? It goes, yeah. They're all like, really? Like, yeah. Like,
I mean, I guess I don't know you that well. You know, it probably took a few more times of hanging out for me to be like, yeah, you are a Bret Hart guy. But you can really tell somebody, you know, you can tell a lot about a person, whether they're Hulk Hogan or a Macho Man guy.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell a lot about a person whether they're Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior guy. You know, you can tell a lot about a person whether they're fucking, you know, Corporate Kane or fucking Demon Kane guy, you know? But yeah, we Stone Cold or The Rock. See, I can't really choose between those guys.
you can't. They
can't.
cut the best promos on each other. Like,
They were the best. They were the best. They're the best ever. But see, like, you can't let motherfuckers. You gotta give them. You gotta give them freedom to be who they are.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that's what I do with Fist. Is I give the guys that want the mic. I'm like, fucking take it. I'm like, run with it. I'll give you a little direction. You know, like do it like this. Or I'm really into that shit. You know, like building characters by the way that they talk shit. You know, really getting into, because like in comedy, you got to figure out who you are and tell jokes. You know, like you couldn't go up there and tell jokes about how hard it is to be so skinny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there was this tall, dark, and handsome guy up in NorCal. You're like, oh, it's so hard for me to get laid. It's like, no, dude, don't. Come on, what the fuck? You know, like you gotta embody who people think you are as a wrestler. So being able to find that as a comedian and to help find that for other wrestlers, that's the shit that I get off on. You know, like I love to take somebody that has raw talent, give them a little bit of direction, you know? But scripting wrestlers is the worst thing in wrestling history. You can't script this shit, man. You can't script raw emotion.
That's one of the few things I've been hearing, like, from within the WWE. Like,
you ever cut your dog's balls off, man? That dog goes from fucking a fierce animal to a fucking little pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like even my Chihuahua he's got some balls, but he's got literally no balls. You know, like you can't cutting the balls off an entertainer like that by scripting them. You just can't do that shit. You're in a band. You know, people play solos. Is that shit written? You know, like you just fucking kind of feel that shit, right?
No, if I do a drum solo, I just improvise.
Rock and roll, motherfucker. Rock and roll.
You know, people ask me, do you ever try to script? Like, why would I do that? I'm like, I don't do that unless if I'm doing something like, for example, I can play do something like what Godsmack did with the two drummers. You know, with Shannon Larkin and Sully. I can try to do that, but me doing a drum solo, that's a different story. That's a different. How do I say?
It's a different skill.
Not a skill, more like. Well, I'll figure that where I can say. But when I do a drum solo, I do it because I try to improvise away. I don't try to start bigger. I try to start out soft, and then I'll try to build it up as much as possible. Build it up until
you funk come. That's what wrestling is.
So I feel like that's what I do. And then people ask me, what do you do if you get too tired? Like, oh, that's the easy part. I just took a little page out of Dennis Chambers' book. I don't know if you heard of him.
Does he snort cocaine?
No, he was the drummer for Santana. You know, for a couple years.
Did you do Adderall?
He did this thing where he was like doing like a double pedal thing. He was just like there, like going like that, just looking around. Hey, what's up? He just keep doing the same thing, and then later he just starts back doing again and again and again, and then finally goes with the finish and bam, like that. That's what I try to do, you know.
That's building up the culmination. That's a beautiful thing. You can see that in comedy. You see that in music. You see that in professional wrestling. Everybody wants to come at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember. Okay, I'll never forget this. This is a story I tell in this situation all the time. It was, fuck man, it was like 2011, 2012, 2010, somewhere around there. And TNA was like making one of their big comebacks, right? And they did a big pay-per-view, and they had it shown at live at movie theaters all across the country. Big fucking deal, you know what I'm saying? Like they were showing the pay-per-view, big pay-per-view, and they had a big build-up for like their big guy James Storm. They're about to like make him the champion, right? And at the end, he lost.
Oh, shit.
And I was like,
that's
what? That's the beauty. That's what Vince McMahon is beautiful at that, you know. And like that made me so conscious of the build-up and the letdown. Like I had never been let down like that. I've been a WWE fan my whole life. I've never been let down like that. With the, you know, you just expect the fucking dude to go over.
Yeah.
Because you get to write it however you want.
Right.
Why are you gonna let him lose? You just put this fucking pay-per-view on. I paid $10 to go see this at the fucking movie theater. $15 to see the fucking movie theater. I could have stayed home with the 4 friends that I watched it with, paid for it on pay-per-view, smoked weed. But I cared so much because they were showing it in theaters. Like this was WrestleMania 1, like on closed circuit shit. And I go and I watch this shit. I invest. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give TNA a shot. I watched this shit. Fucking lost.
I so thought Naito was going over at Wrestle Kingdom 12.
So yeah, you really could say that, you know. And I mean, we just recently saw that again at Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. You know, it's like, oh, here we go again with that. You know, people wanted the Fiend to win, didn't happen.
Yeah, you know, it's a long story.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I don't like. Is like you.
Well, Hell in a Cell isn't really a big payout.
No, it's like you got.
If you get a WrestleMania, you don't put him over. That's a bigger story.
Yeah.
Hell in a Cell is kind of a throwaway pay.
Yeah, that kind of got us hyped for it, but you know, I'm like saying, I just hope they don't do that again the next time because nobody's gonna be hyped for it.
Well, you know, the next time that they do it, it might be a Survivor Series, and then they'll get smarter and they'll fucking put him over. You know, that's the big payout pay-per-view. You know. And that's where you gotta culminate your stories at. You know, the story always goes on. It's not over till it's over. You know, and then it's not over anymore.
Okay, I want to ask this one last question.
Oh,
okay.
Ask away, whatever you got.
Do you ever feel whenever you're doing the fist combat, or do you ever feel like
that I want to jump off a bridge all the time?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but do you ever feel like
I just want to turn off my messenger and tell them to fuck off?
There was also, do you ever have that moment where like, fuck, this is exhausting? You ever get that feeling too?
Brother, every day. You see this shit right
because here's the thing, I can tell people say how hard it is to run a promotion. Like,
here's my weekly checklist. Here's my sponsor callback sheet. This is my booking for the next 3 months for my comedy show downtown. This is for the rest of the year and the first month of January for Get Fisted TV. This is for my comedy group that I have together. This is for the next shows all the way through January, my payouts and everything. This is next to me at all times. Running a wrestling promotion is a full-time job. I am in contact with at least 10 wrestlers every day of every fucking week of every month. I have to coordinate and manage the group text. I have to sell the tickets. I've got to make sure that the fucking shit's made. The flyers are made. I got out there. I got to make sure that we have somebody collecting money at the door, seating people. I got to make sure we got enough referees. I got to make sure that the DJ knows not to ever fucking play Journey at my shows. If you play Cupid Shuffle again one more time, DJ Perception, I will fire you. I've got to make sure that this guy doesn't wrestle that guy, or this guy stays away from that guy, or the ring guy who's in a feud with one of my wrestlers over some bullshit, or I got to make sure that I'm in the right mindset to not only put the show together and make sure I get all the right promos from everybody, I also have to go out there and try to have match of the night every night. Not only that, I got to make sure all the money's getting collected at the door. I trust my girlfriend 100%, but I don't trust any asshole that's going to try to walk in the side door. On top of that, it's all right. You know, I knew it was a chore when I got into it. You know, and you can't half-ass anything that you do in life. It's so rewarding, but it's also a thankless job at the same time. You know, I've been accused of everything from being a homophobe to a racist to a misogynist to whatever is piece of shit, doesn't pay people, fucking asshole to work with, whatever the fuck. And you know what? I probably have been at times. I probably have been those people at times. But I've lived and I've learned. And I've been putting on shows now for going on 13 years. And every fucking day, whether it's comedy, as a wrestler, an entertainer, a lover, a fucking, you know, a dog owner, or, you know, a guy that runs a wrestling promotion, I just try to get better every day and look at the mistakes that I make and learn from those mistakes, because it's the only way you're ever going to get better at anything. And I feel that I have done that, and I keep doing that. And if I sound like I'm sucking my own dick right there for it, so be it. But I try to encourage the people around me to do the same things, and I look out for people. I really do. And, you know, the most, I always thought, and here's a wrestling lesson for you before we close this up, because I figure we're probably close to closing.
Yeah.
Okay? In wrestling, if I'm going to fight you, okay, I would never ever call you a piece of shit, right? I would never ever be like, this guy is nothing, he's a nobody, he's garbage, he's out of my league, you know. Why would I ever say that? Because why? Because if I beat you, then who did I beat? I beat a piece of shit. Who cares? And if you beat me, who beat me? Well, this piece of shit beat me, right? But if I go, look at him, he's good at this. If he grabs a hold of me, he's got the hardest punch in the land. You know, I've seen this guy do a top rope moonsault and nearly crush a guy. You know, if this guy grabs me by the waist, I got nothing to do. But I tell you what, I've been wrestling this much longer, and I'm this much quicker, and I'm this much smarter than that guy. But you know what? On September, whatever the fuck, when him and I go in there and beat the shit out of each other, it's going to be a match for the fucking ages. But you know what? Who's going to come out on top? The guy that's just this much better. And that's the way that you truly make everybody around you better. I thought the way to get over in comedy or wrestling or music was to step over people to get my head up to the top, to get up there. But the way you get up there is you lift everybody up and then let them lift you up. Because if you truly are good, great, or beyond, let the cream rise to the top. Put everybody else up around you and give everybody a fair playing field. Show everybody that you're not a selfish person. That's the way that you're truly going to get over, is by putting up everybody around you and making everybody realize, hey, we're all on the same level. Because it's not up to me as an entertainer to tell you how good I am. It's up to the audience to tell me how good of an entertainer I am. That's just that story. Raise everybody up.
Oh yeah. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it. I love getting that message out and telling people that fucking it's all about doing it. So.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this full video of the interview with Mikey Gordon, better known as Dirty Ron McDonald. Mikey actually gave us tickets to go see the show he had the following Wednesday. I was unable to go to because two things. One, my father got hurt. He hurt his foot, and of course we had one of the brush fires nearby my house where I live. Had to take care of that, but I was able to see certain things that happened on that show. Mikey Gordon, I want to say congratulations on your engagement. His girlfriend was part of the show. I was surprised that she took a bump with the thumbtacks, so it was like kind of crazy. But it was fun to see that. I know Nico was there. He saw the whole thing. I don't think we have any videos. I don't know what is the regulation of having fans having bits and pieces recorded down there. But hopefully one day I get to see Fist Combat. But so if you guys are into seeing this type of event with you know, a bit of the hardcore stuff and all that with Dirty Ron, you can go check out Fist Combat. I'll set up the link down below. I'll see you guys later. I'll be working on a brand new episode, so I must bid all of you adieu or adieu. So goodbye. Have a nice day. Bang.